Good morning, everyone, and welcome back. This is the second session of our breezEV Pro Workshop in October. We will be giving all the updates and knowledge around breezEV and the approach that we're taking on the EV world. After the presentation, there will be a 6-question quiz, and we will draw 20 winners for a $50 Visa card. They have to answer all 6 correctly?
All 6.
All 6 have to be answered correctly. And if you have any questions for us, just put it in the Q&A and we will take care of them at the end. Presenting today, we have the VP of Sales and Marketing, Doug Nebelsberger, and also Director of EV Charging, Mike Emery. And you guys can take it away.
All right, perfect. Thank you, Ireland. Let me pull up our presentation for the day. And welcome everybody back to another installment of the Pro Workshop series. If you've not joined us before, welcome for the first time, and hope to see you guys in the future. So today is all about breezEV, our electric vehicle charging line that we've been promoting since the beginning of the year. Just a quick rundown, do a quick intro, a little 101, but then kind of go through the product, talk about the software, so the product being the hardware, then the software, talk to you guys about our warranty and Ultimate Guard, which is an extended warranty and kind of a maintenance plan, and then a little bit of a competitor comparison. How does Breeze stack up against the other guys? Some site planning considerations, a little bit more involved than just switching out light bulbs or light fixtures. So just to help you guys know what's involved there, and then the activation process, getting the network charger online. Just a quick overview of that, and then like Ireland said, we're going to test your knowledge. The questions aren't meant to stump you, just to reinforce some key takeaways from today's presentation. So with that, just want to review and touch on some of the basics for those that haven't joined us before, and for those that have, this will be a little bit of a refresher. So one of the most common questions that we get is, what the heck are you guys doing getting into EV chargers? So at Light Efficient Design Remfoss, we've got over 13 years experience developing and manufacturing LED products, and along with that, providing after-sales support. Obviously, we're very strong in the electrical distribution industry, and it's really thanks to our rep partners, our distributor partners, our ESCO partners, and everybody else that has supported us during our journey. So cannot stress enough, though, that we are electrical distributor focused. Some of the guys that Mike will touch on later, some of our competitors, don't have that same mindset. They'll talk to you as a distributor, but they might share that same price beyond you. Go around, go direct. So that is our promise to everybody here, is we are distributor focused and loyal. The other thing, and I don't have this in the slide, but at Light Efficient Design, we've always kind of said, we pride ourselves on our innovation, being first to market in a lot of cases. So for us, this is us innovating, being innovative. We kind of view ourselves more of an innovation company that just happens to have sold lighting products for the past, decade plus. So that's the way I kind of like to spin it, of why we're getting into this space. And I think it's going to be really exciting for everybody involved for the next decade and beyond. So what we're going to focus on today is there's 3 different levels of electrical vehicle charging. Our sweet spot is level 2, commercial and some slight residential products as well. But level 2's the sweet spot. Level 1, really slow charging speeds. You're going to get 3 to 5 miles per hour. So, not terrible for, overnight at your home. And then DC fast charging is a fantastic solution. And the question on the screen, why wouldn't everybody just go to level 3? It's the cost, the infrastructure associated with that. Probably 10x beyond just on the material side, along with labor and adding additional infrastructure to support it. So there's definitely places for level 2 as well as level 3, which I'll touch on in just a minute. And then just to give you guys a visual, what's nice with level 2 is you've got one plug that's universal. So it works across all the different brands, no matter where the companies resides. If it's a brand in Asia, the U.S., Europe, or the famous Tesla. When you get into DC fast charging, you're looking at different plugs, so it's a little bit more complicated, dedicated stations for those vehicles. So where does level 2 make sense? So it makes sense at a lot of places. So the note at the bottom is really the way to kind of think about all of these is just, where would a driver be for at least an hour or two, or maybe even beyond. So there's a lot of companies that, for workplaces that are offering it as a work perk. There's a lot of the luxury rental communities that are, offering it as an amenity. But all these places are where you might end up for, again, a couple hours or more. Healthcare, there's certainly a lot of doctors that are not only driving Teslas, but driving their people to add EV charging stations there so they can charge while they're on the clock. So just a lot of different applications for level 2. When you're thinking more of like, a highway, someone's on a 6-hour road trip somewhere, that's where DC fast charging is really going to make sense, because you don't have, a couple hours to kill on the side of the highway. You want to get charged up and go. So, but plenty of opportunity for level 2 here. And my personal favorite, which didn't make it on the company slide, is golf courses. You're certainly at a golf course generally for at least 4 hours, if not more, closer to 6. Your spouses might not want to hear that 6-hour mark, but that's the reality of it. So a couple pictures of my golf journeys this summer, but golf courses are great. A lot of times privately owned. The decision makers are there at the golf course, and heck, who doesn't want to go make a sales call at a golf course? So just another great end user application. So the product. So we've updated our spec sheets, which I'll touch on in just a minute, but just a quick look at our website. Those are the 2 chargers we're going to talk about today. The one on the left is kind of meets 2 out of the 3 criteria of our tagline, smart, simple charging. The one on the left is our non-networked solution, which would be basically just simple level 2 charging. The one on the right is where the smart element comes in, and that's our network solution, which I'll touch on in just a minute. So those are the 2 products. We've got more that's rolling out in 2023, but we really just want to give you guys an update on what we have available today for you guys to buy, install, and get set up and going. So the first one is our non-networked solution. So again, just a real simple charger. But what's great about this is it's a 48 amp charger. A lot of the other chargers out there are about 32 amps. So what does that mean? So the higher the amperage, the higher the charging rate is. So the nice thing is, though, you can dial these down to 40, 32, or 16 amps. You might ask, why would you do that? All depends on what your capacity is. You might want to just work with what the existing infrastructure is and not add an additional panel. So you might want to dial it down. But these are certainly rugged IP65, so they are meant to be outside. We've got some different mounting options, so you kind of see more of a wall mount on the left and then a pedestal mount on the right. We'll touch on that in a bit. And then we do sell the cables separately to give you the options. So you kind of get to really pair your station to meet your end user specification. But we sell 40 and 48 amp cable sets, and then you can buy them in lengths of 12, 18, or 25 foot. So for me, the more exciting product is this network solution, because that's where we really see a lot of the opportunity, for level 2 is with this. So the way that we approach it is we have a modem built into it. It's 4G cellular, so that's built in, and it comes preloaded with AmpUp software. So AmpUp is our software partner that we have chosen. We are open charge point protocol, which means that our charger is not necessarily married to the AmpUp software for its entirety of life. There's a lot of companies out there that it's a one-stop solution. So you think the best way to think about that is probably like an Apple product. You have the Apple hardware, you have the Apple software. There's no way around it. So this just gives you some flexibility down the road, but through our research, we felt very, very confident about what AmpUp has to offer. They've got a great track record, and thus far, it's been a tremendous partnership. And I think we'll have possibly somebody from AmpUp join us for Q&A later on. But getting into just some of the technical aspects, same 48 amp capability, you can adjust it down. We've got the 4.3-inch LCD display. So that helps drivers with their experience of charging. And Mike will touch on the few different ways that you can, as a driver, communicate with the machine and pay for a charging session. One of those being RFID cards. But again, the same 40, 48 amp and different cable sets. And Mike will touch on why software is so important in just a minute. And that'll really resonate for why I think this is the charger that I think will sell, the most of in volume. So pedestal options. So we did something really clever here with our pedestals. You'll see different part numbers there, but really this core part of the pedestal that you see here is referred to as our LPK, our lower pedestal kit. So what's neat there is that same pedestal, you can mount one unit to it. You can mount two, seen here is a back-to-back. But if you want to add cable management, which Mike's going to tell you why you should always try to push your customer for cable management, use that same pedestal. And you can also do single or back-to-back, or even the side-by-side. We've got a neat bracket that we can provide that helps mount them side-by-side, as you see here. So what's, again, really neat is it's one pedestal. So from an inventory perspective, whether it's for us or our distributor partners, just really easy to stock it and to modify the charging solution for that end user's need. So, and last but not least, but we do some custom branding on our pedestals. So we can create the artwork ourselves. The artwork can be provided. We've got a little template for what's detailed there, but you've got a breezEV branded pedestal here on the right. So I'm really excited to be able to offer that option for you and your customers. So I mentioned a little bit about how the cables are sold separately, but the modular approach that we take to this, we're really excited about it. So far, the feedback from our distributor partners that have signed up with us, they're excited about it because it, again, allows to kind of mix and match different inventory pieces to provide that custom solution for that end user. So how would you build it? So for those of our reps and our distributors that might have our price book, there's a quote guide in there that looks similar to this. But what you see here on the left is you've got two chargers, two cables, and then of course you've got just one on the pedestal. So you've got the lower pedestal kit, you got the cable management set up, and then you've got that side-by-side bracket. So that's how you would order that exact setup from us. So this and another ordering example are now on the spec sheets just to help bring that home. And in our, this one's actually in our new catalog that's about to ship out today. So a little extra news for you this Friday morning. And then this, I guess this is the other one that I was thinking of that's on our spec sheet as an ordering example. So this is just, you tried to sell them the cable management till you're blue in the face and they just weren't buying it. They kind of wanted to go with something a little bit more economical for their budget, let's say. So this is just a straight, one for one down the line here. So one charger, one cable set, and then that's where you have that lower pedestal kit. And then if you don't want to add the cable management, there's a lower pedestal cover that goes on top of it to complete that pedestal. Here's a couple looks at the chargers that are outside our Middleton, Massachusetts facility. We do some assembly, production, inventory, and we also do our trainings there. So if you haven't visited us in Middleton over the last few years for training, we'd love to have you out there. So a little plug to come out and see us. We'll be getting those going early next year. So, and then here's an ideal setup for a parking garage, right? You might not always have the space for a pedestal. They're not really that deep, but you might, again, in a parking garage situation, you might want to save a little space. So there's a cable retractor kit that's up there that Mike will touch on a little bit, but just so you guys can kind of see how clean that looks, for a parking garage application. And this is really cool. Obviously we've been selling lighting products. We do some assembled in America products, of course, but most of it is manufactured in China. So with breezEV, we're excited that not only are our charging cable sets, but also our pedestals and brackets, they're 100% manufactured in the United States. So we actually do the pedestal down the street from our facility in Middleton. We're looking at bringing that to a couple more locations across the country, but just really, really great. And we're working on finalizing all the details, but we will have a Buy America Act compliant breezEV charging station going into the new calendar year. And with that, we're going to get into the Amp Up software. I'm going to stop sharing. I'm going to bring on Mike. So for those that don't know Mike Emery, Director of EV Charging, Mike joined us back in May as we were getting going. We really thought we needed somebody with some EV charging manufacturing experience, and we were fortunate to lure Mike away from his last company. So Mike's had about 5 years of experience on the manufacturing side for EV chargers, and now joins another EV charging manufacturer. But most recently was at Juice Bar, not to be confused with Juice Box, because both exist. And then he was at SEMA Connect before that. So Mike's got a lot of experience. We've been getting him involved with a lot of you probably on the call today. But anybody that wants to know a bit more about our solutions, Mike's happy to jump on those calls and help the people out. So Mike, with that, the presentation is now yours.
Well, thanks for the kind intro, and everyone on the call, thanks a lot. Over 100 people here today. That's great to see. Certainly appreciate getting on a Friday with us. I will share the screen here, and everyone can see that.
Yep, you're good.
Okay, good.
And now you're in full mode.
Take it away. Get the mode. So the software, yeah. So it as good a job, and we do a great job of making commercial grade, public facing, hardware that's going to be reliable, work out of the box, and have a long life cycle. The real magic in terms of the site host and the driver, and what makes this really an outstanding solution is the software. And we are open ChargePoint protocol, so we can work with any software company that has open ChargePoint protocol in them. AmpUp has been a superior solution. I've worked with them in other companies for the last 4 years, and they are just fantastic partners who really support us and support your clients and every driver to the end all the way back, and make this what we think is the best solution out there right now. This is not called ChargePoint, right? So a couple things here. Why go with the network station over just a less expensive plug and charge station? Those were fine when there weren't many drivers out there, and certainly giving away some free power was a nice little advertising or a bonus. But we don't give away free gasoline. So a couple things here. You want to have access control over who can access the station. And what software will do, and what AmpUp does a great job of, is giving a site host the option to have as many user groups as they like with different pricing. So you can have free for employees or a discounted charge for employees. You can have free for visitors. You can do everything from having discount codes and promotions if they're at a restaurant, or with casinos that we've have some installations going on. They want to be able to give that away to people, and the software can handle all those different groups very easily. It's very intuitive. So, that's the most important piece. Making the stations easy to find. They publish automatically where the station is on Google Maps, Apple Maps, PlugShare. They all share the same publishing network. And what that allows the site host to do is either show the station as available, come on down, and they will show the stations as in use or available, and making sure it is functioning as well as pricing and any other details the site host wants to list. A site host can also publish a station as restricted, so it's not open to the public, but maybe it's there for tenants at a multifamily, and they want to message that to the public. Hey, we have EV charging if you come live here, or for certainly commercial and office situations where it's for employees, and it's a great recruitment tool, and just showing they have the amenity without inviting the public to come there and actually access it. Or they can choose to not publish it at all. So it's a great flexibility. Manage access, set pricing. AmpUp will help them set the pricing on the onboarding. It's a number one question people have. What do I price it at? How do I set it up? They do a fantastic job of walking the site host through and looking in their area around where they're going to be, showing them what other people are charging, and let them come to their own decision. And if they're not happy, or they just want to change something, they can call AmpUp back as often as they like. There's no charge. AmpUp is happy to get it right. And again, this is part of the solution being so well received by site hosts and the drivers. And the last one is utility rebates and reporting. The utility programs require reporting, and that is something that AmpUp does automatically behind the scenes, so the site host doesn't have to get involved with any of that. They can, some want daily reporting. A new plan down in New Jersey wants daily, others want monthly, and they set that up and take that burden and obligation off of the site host. So, just a fantastic option to have. Again, making the stations easy to find, whether you get their app or not. And if you do get their app will show all the other charging stations as well. So that's one way to find stations. Again, Apple Maps, Google Maps. No one has to download anything to find a close charging station to them. And here's an example of some of the information. Sometimes people choose to post photos, and then they can leave messages about their experience so other drivers can understand, hey, it's well lit, or hey, it's not in a great place. And it's a really dynamic way for drivers to interact with the charging station. 2 levels of AmpUp software. The light here really covers everything that 90-95% of any site host is going to really require to get up and offer all the different features of the software. So you can see monthly reporting, driver and site support, real-time analytics, simple pricing, multi-site management. We work with companies that have campuses or multi-sites, or even multi-sites on like a campus or a hospital. They can keep all that on one screen. They can be separate addresses. They can be in other states if a corporate office wants to have a view of it. So fantastic for reporting. Access control, user groups, as I mentioned. You can do reservations now, session limits and idle fees. So they'll message the driver, hey, your charge is almost up, or hey, your car is full. Could you please move it in the next 15 minutes? And if they choose to and find the need to, they can create a penalty saying, hey, if you don't move it now, we're going to charge you $5, $10, $15. And that tends to move people and reinforce better behavior. And again, utility demand response is something that the utilities are requiring. That's the ability for the utilities to send a message out and automatically lower the station's output if there was a brownout or something else out there. I will tell you, outside of California, that the utilities require this, but they don't have the actual function in place yet. So it's a standard that we meet. AmpUp meets it. Most other utilities and states aren't there yet, but it's a feature that is going to be required, and they do that. Quickly on the Pro, sorry to skip the scene. Everything in light, just quickly, time of use rate. So time of use would be, the McDonald's talked to us recently, we want to do 3x the charge rate between 11:30 and 2 and between 4:30 and 7. And then we want it to drop back down and offer a cheaper rate if it's 24-hour McDonald's and things like that. So that allows you to set different hourly rates for the same user groups. And then advanced load management is a way to limit the total output of all the chargers across the location, which helps avoid demand charges on the utilities. So if you think of 5 or 6 cars being plugged in on a hot August day, that's going to be a big spike on that utility bill, and that can cause problems and a big penalty that carries over for months. In those areas that have that kind of a penalty, so to speak, this will let the site host avoid that and dial down the stations when they come up against that demand charge. The rebates. So again, automatic reporting on the rebates, that's fantastic. You can see there behind it is what a dashboard can look like, a report for the site host. It's graphic, it's visual, very intuitive. They can do it in a data file as well. Whatever they want to do, there's an unlimited number of ways to mix and match over 40 different data points. And again, AmpUp is happy to help set that up with the site host when they do their onboarding. So a lot of satisfaction on the ultimate customer with that hand holding, and again, it's easy to navigate, easy to use. So how do you pay at an AmpUp station? It can be as simple as just taking your cell phone with a camera, going up, taking a picture of the QR code on the front of every station. It also has AmpUp's 1-800 number. That will open up a unique charging session, so they do not need to download the AmpUp app, unlike a lot of other charging stations. And they can just Google Pay or Apple Pay their information into that charging session and get going. If they are a more common user, they can download the app. And then once again, you just take a picture of the QR code and it has a start button, because it will already have that user's information, billing information. Or if they're at a place that they're in a member group that doesn't charge, it will recognize that driver and let them get that charge session started, in a matter of 10 to 15 seconds, which is the goal. Get the driver away from the charging station and on their way, or back in their car if they have to sit there for any reason. There's an RFID tag we can provide from AmpUp, little cards that are $5, or 95% of all RFID tags out there for garage access, apartment access, office access will work on the station, and the site host can simply enter that serial number that's on the actual RFID tag or key fob, and that lets them, be attached to that system, and they can start using that pass to start their charging, just a tap and charge. So literally 5 seconds to initiate the charge there. And that is a fantastic solution for corporate, universities and certainly residential as well, multi-res. We get a lot of questions on return of investment, right? And that's a big concern, obviously, to get people to open up their wallets and to move forward. This does a great job at letting them understand what it might look like. So there's a couple things here. The electric rate, that's going to be the cost per kilowatt, what they want to charge over that, 10 cents, 15 cents. And then the kind of bigger variable here is the estimated utilization. So how many hours do they think a driver might be charging there, or drivers might use their stations, or what would it look like if people used it 2 hours a day or 6 hours a day? And then they can get a really accurate read on what they would be receiving on a per charge or monthly basis. So this is a great thing to look at, and we can now pass this along. There's a link that AmpUp finally has released to us, so we can, you're free to send that to anyone you like. But happy to let anyone here on the call reach out to me, and we can walk through how you can best use this. We'll take about 5 to 10 minutes so that you guys can show people the ROI if they're asking, and look really smart. Want to touch on carbon credits real quickly. Not relevant in most states. California has them. They are coming. They get so many credits per month per charge, depending on the use, but right now they average anywhere from $50 to $100 in states that do have it. We mention it now because AmpUp leaves those carbon credits to the site host, so they let them collect and have the full value of them. ChargePoint currently, in their small print, reserves the right for carbon credits. They'll probably be forced to change that. It's nothing underhanded. It's just how they came to market, 10 years ago. So it's something that, we wanted to be careful that we did not have people think we were looking to get any other of their future carbon credits. So Jackson and AmpUp will be happy to walk anyone through that if they have more questions on what that looks like. Warranty and ultimate guard. This is something that we do really, really well. And with that, our standard 3-year parts warranty, we think is the best in the business, because if anything goes wrong, we're not going to send someone out there, schedule a visit, open the box, diagnose it, look for the part. Imagine they have the right part, order the part, come back, schedule the visit again to fix it, or even take the charger away to fix it. That's just, it leaves the charger down. The drivers aren't happy. The site hosts are not happy. We will do a drop ship, or better, at your local distribution, pick it off the shelf with an RMA. So that's the way it should work. If they're out of inventory for any reason, we'll drop ship it, 2-day shipping. And within 72 hours, business hours, they'll have a new charger to swap out in the field, and then they'll put the other charger in a box with a prepaid label and send it back to us so we can do our autopsy and find out, what possibly went wrong on that station. But it makes the site host whole as quickly as possible. Because of our modularity, you don't lose both stations. If one goes down, the other one's still working. An electrician can come out there. It's less than 1 hour to do the 4 security screws, change the 3 wires, put the new unit on, and off the site, the charger's back up and running, and the drivers can start charging again. If they want to have a more complete, backup or guarantee, the Ultimate Guard will provide labor to match the parts warranty through 3 years, or you can extend both parts and labor to 5 years. And what that looks like is AmpUp would be able to diagnose that station remotely. A driver calls, imagine, hey, the station's not working. AmpUp can do a soft reset and a hard reset, basically power on off, which used to be going to the electric panel and having the facilities manager, the property manager, get the facilities guy with the key to the room to get someone in there just to flick the switch. This was how it was, 3 or 4 years ago. It was a nightmare. Now it can be done within 5 minutes of there being an issue. And if we determine that it's not able to reset with AmpUp, we will create that RMA and get that process of swapping out those units. So that is truly, right now, the best in the industry, hands down. in terms of keeping those units up and running. And if something does go down, making sure that we get a new one out there as quickly as possible. What it does not cover is vandalism, accidents, or acts of God. So probably acts of God's not so much. Someone cutting a cable doesn't cover it. Someone smashing a cable, running it over too much for the port, it doesn't cover that. But if they have ultimate guard with that, we're still happy to arrange the labor for them. They'll pay for that, but we can still help them, arrange that if they don't want to use their own labor. So if there's any other questions on that, happy to dig into that more at the end of with the Q&A. Again, we're the most deployable, ease of installation, quick to install, quick to connect. We have as high as anyone right now for uptime, 99%, and it's available now. Inventory is on shelves and will continue to be. We have a great inventory set up, and we are in position to rock and roll for the next 6 to 9 months, and we'll have more units coming in before then. So it's here now, and we're ready to go. A few site planning things. Doug mentioned cable management. Here's what cable management without cable management looks like. And this is a big trip and fall situation. It's about risk mitigation. If everyone is doing their customer a service and a favor, they will let them know the most important thing outside of getting a great solution is making sure people don't trip and fall over these cables running all over the place like an air hose. They do not get wrapped up. They get grimy, and people are not excited to take the time to put those back. So when there is cable management, there might be 2 or 3 feet that could be on the ground if they don't put the plug back in. But without cable management, that could be 12 feet to 15 feet and create a lot of problems for drivers or for people looking just to be, wise guys and start a lawsuit. Let's see here. Considerations for the field. You want to have a continuous load. Chargers are a continuous load device, meaning they need to have space between their maximum power and the breaker of 25%. So with ours, a 48 amp charger requires 60. A 40 amp requires 50, 32 requires 40. And, this is where the ability to toggle down our device to meet the capacity that's on site for now, and later put it back up when they, eventually will upgrade the panel, whether it's 1, 2, 3, or 5 years, and they add extra parking, they'll go back, they'll upgrade a panel. If they had to dial our device down to meet their current capacity, it's future proof, so they can dial it right back up and maximize that 48 amp charging speed, which, again, that's going to be the ideal over the next 2 or 3 years, and will stay that way for the foreseeable future for sure. Cable management also runs to garages as well. So there is our retractor on a wall. It's a simple and affordable solution for garages. We're finding a lot of success and a lot of interest from some national developers who are looking to, electrify 10 or 20% of their parking spots in new higher end apartment or multi-res buildings. And this is a nice, clean, easy install. The bracket comes with the charging head, and the holster comes with the charger. You would just need to have the retractor as an add-on there, and you're ready to go. So we're getting a lot of interest, and we have a few projects in the works because they have found that our solution is really both affordable, efficient, and keeps those cables off the ground. Pre-made base here. If you're doing a brand new parking lot and they're going to lay the asphalt, they want to put a couple of charges in, or they know down the road they want the ability to, they're going to lay conduit. This is a great way to keep that reserved spot and be able to have cars drive over and park around it, and make it just a non-issue until they're ready to open it up and stick a charger on top for future. And if it's current, as a contractor down in Falmouth, they had an auger, they just put a hole in the ground, they already had the conduit coming. They were able to drop this in the ground quickly, throw some rocks around it, some wet cement, pack it down, and they're off the job site same day. So there's a lot of value to some of these guys, especially with multiple chargers, where they don't want to wait for the concrete to cure 1 or 2 days and have to come back and drill it. They can get in there, set that station up, and again, get off the job site on budget and without having to spend extra days going back. In the event that someone asks for a concrete wet kit, that's if they want to actually put the bolts in while the concrete is curing. A lot of utility programs had asked for this 2 or 3 years ago. What we're finding now is the installers and integrators prefer just to have a dry concrete pad there and to just dry drill the bolts in there, so they make sure they're nice and vertical, perpendicular in the right angle, as opposed to leaving them in wet concrete where something could go wrong on that. So people might ask for it. If they do, we have that kit. most people are not going to ask for it or require it. Just wanted to make sure you guys knew it was out there. Activation process, real simple, 3 steps. So they're going to register the project ahead of time. There's a sheet that comes in every charger box with a QR code. An electrician just has to scan that. It will open up a registration form. They will fill out just their contact information, 3 lines, some contact information for the site host. Does not have to be the permanent contact for the site host, just someone who's there with an address, company name, email, and phone number, so that we can contact them for the onboarding, right? That will allow them to have those chargers. An email comes back and lets the installer then, sorry, here's what that piece of paper looks like that comes in the box. Once they do that, they can then scan each QR code on the charger, and that will register those chargers to the network automatically. They don't have to call in. They don't have to wait for a confirmation call back, nothing like that. Again, this is part of having under 15 minutes to register these stations, get them up and running on the network, and get off the job site. This is a huge thing for them. It's as simple as that. They're going to look for a connected bar connected to the cloud, and they're off and running. Last part is when they do get that finished, that contact information they put in, AmpUp will reach out to the site host and will schedule as quickly as they like the onboarding process and go through and set them up on everything from pricing, user groups, and any other questions they have, how they want to publish the station, and they can even customize their dashboard and add their logo if they want. We have a fantastic resource page, both videos on our product, and David Gershaw does a fantastic job on those. We've been getting great reviews on those. We had some people even watch the hour-long video recently, which is a lot to ask, but they had done that before we hopped on a call. Was really encouraging to us that people have that interest, and also that they found it very informative, and that they felt it was worth the hour they spent. So, always happy to hear that. You don't have to spend that much time. There's certainly a lot of AmpUp stuff here as well. So a great resource page. And anything that's not there, just reach out to any of us and we will be happy to get other information over to you.